Hello there. Before we head into the international break, a scary time for some. I'm actually looking forward to myself this time, but anyway, we have the weekend recap before that. I'm Paco. Welcome to your weekly date with me every Monday that there is club football at least. So no weekend recap next week, but there will still be content. Yes, all throughout this week and the next, we've got you covered. Also, for those of you who are members at the RTV Ultra level, we'll have our members only video out to you this week. Again, guys, this is just a bonus video to those who sign up to support the channel at the RTV Ultra level for our memberships, just to make it worthwhile for them. There's still over 90% of our content that is free to you guys. All right, so let's go. Benevento versus Juventus was a difficult match to watch if you're of the Juve supporting persuasion. It was a yikes. Frustratingly toothless in the attack, unsure at the back, no service at all without Quadrado on the pitch, and boneheaded mistakes from guys like Artur costing the team. No idea what Artur was thinking in the 68th minute when he played the ball from Juve's own corner across the 18, and Benevento's Adolfo Gaik latched onto it and lashed it low past Szczesny. It was an incredible mistake from the Brazilian. Inexcusable stuff. Again, one of the first things I remember ever learning from my dad, what any kid ever learned, was as a general rule, do not pass through the middle close to your own goal. As you get older, you're told as a general rule to avoid passing through your 18. Sure, there are times when you can do so, but this ain't it. Juve lose 1-0 to Inzaghi's struggling Benevento despite Danilo putting the ball over the bar towards the end of the match. The keeper, Montipo, had a great match for Benevento, and further questions are asked of Pirlo. Well, in my opinion, they should be directed at those who decided to hire him, the people running the club. Again, sacking him would be fair in a sporting sense, I guess, as he isn't performing, but unfair in the sense that you hired him to grow as a manager at Juve. You claimed to have belief in what he could become as a manager, so to suddenly shift and expect a Scudetto out of him when this is literally his first job seems a bit unfair, not to mention the lack of midfield at this club, the horrible finishing in this match in particular from Juve. They should have scored more, let's be real. But this story does need to focus on Benevento and this historic victory for them, as they are a team that, as mentioned, have been struggling of late. And not only does it have historic importance for the club in particular, a match over Juve, but it has importance for their survival this season. Atalanta bounced back from their Champions League disappointment to get another positive result domestically via a 2-0 win away to Hellas Verona. Two first-half goals were the difference for Atalanta, Malinowski converting from the penalty spot for the first one, and then setting up Duvan Zapata for the second. A largely dominant performance from Atalanta, who now can just focus on finishing in the top 4 and their Coppa Italia final in May versus Juve. Sampdoria shoveled further pressure on Torino following the latter's great comeback last week. Candreva and Gabbiadini linked up for the only goal of the match to give Claudio Ranieri's side the 1-0 win. Spezia, another side that had threatened to drop into the relegation fight, that is close to the relegation fight, got a victory over a fellow relegation candidate in Cagliari, 2-1 there. Fiorentina and AC Milan had an extremely back and forth match that constantly changed hands throughout, with Milan going 1-0 up, Zlatan with his 15th, then 2-1 down, and finally finding a winner through Çalhanoğlu for a 3-2 victory, which was integral to their title bid just to keep the pressure on this Inter side that didn't play this weekend. Their match against Sassuolo was postponed. And the brace from Napoli's Dries Mertens gave them a 2-0 win over Roma in a fiery match. It often can be between these two sides, quite fiery, and so with Napoli getting that deserved victory, they actually hop over Roma in the standings, while Milan are 6 points behind Inter for the moment. Juve and Atalanta are level on 55 points apiece. Napoli with a great run of form here. Will be interesting to see just where they end up come the end of the season. Real Madrid continued their solid performances as of late with a 3-1 victory over Celta Vigo. I was really interested to see how Zidane would line up this side, what formation he would use, as in would he continue with the 3 at the back, but he reverted to a more familiar shape with some adjustments made to it though. 4-3-1-2 or a 4-4-2 diamond still provided that cover to the back line, especially with the returning Casemiro, who drops between the center backs and gives Modric the license he needs to roam and be effective. Benzema with the brace and another strong performance from the Frenchman, and Asensio with the 3rd and final goal right at the end. That's goals in consecutive matches for both of them. Real Valladolid getting a 1-1 draw against Sevilla seems sorta uninteresting on paper. However, Valladolid led this match from the 44th minute all the way to the 94th, before Sevilla keeper Yassine Bono hit a first-time strike from inside the box from a corner kick to level for Sevilla. Yes, Bono, Sevilla's goalkeeper, with the goal. You love to see that kind of thing, that kind of drama. Harsh on Valladolid, of course, who could use all of the points they can get at this point in order to stay alive, but we love the scenes from a late keeper goal. Real Betis really are providing a good challenge to anyone hoping to lock down European football next season, as they made it 5 wins from their last 6 matches with a 2-0 win over Levante on Friday. Levante are, of course, no pushovers themselves these days, but a 5-minute period in the second half saw both Nabil Fekir and Juanmi score for Betis, and they're vibing in Seville. Atletico Madrid had a disappointing week in which they were thoroughly outplayed by Chelsea once again in the Champions League, and they needed some heroics to overcome Deportivo Alaves in La Liga. First, they had Kieran Trippier putting in a great cross for Luis Suarez to convert, 1-0 Atletico, and then later, Jan Oblak came out big to save a Hostelu penalty and ensure they would get the full 3 points to stave off the chasing pack. 1-0 Atletico. Part of that chasing pack is this Barcelona side that is looking fantastic thanks to their new shape under Koeman. They had a potential banana skin in Real Sociedad to contend with, but they dealt with them handily. Griezmann tucked in a rebound, then Busquets played a stunning ball to Messi, and he set up Dest for his first La Liga goal after the half. He scored his second La Liga goal, then Messi scored. I mean, they absolutely dominated the Sociedad side. Ousmane Dembele got in on it. Ran rampant. And that big win for Barcelona translates to staying 4 points behind Atletico Madrid in the standings. Sevilla are the closest challengers to the top 3 on 55 points, 5 behind Real Madrid, who are on 60. In Germany, Bayern Munich were handed a challenge in trying to get a victory over a solid VfB Stuttgart side while playing with 10 men from about 11-12 minutes on. Alphonso Davies getting his boots way too high, as you can see here. Definitely a red card, as that is very, very dangerous play. It was accidental, of course, but that, of course, has no bearing whether there's intention or not. So, how did Bayern do with 10 men? How does 3 goals in 6 minutes sound to you? That's right, Davies was sent off in the 12th minute. And by the 17th minute, Robert Lewandowski had opened the scoring for Bayern. In the 22nd minute, Gnabry doubled the lead. 1 minute later, in the 23rd, Lewandowski scored to make it 3-0. And before the half was up, the Polish striker had rounded out his hat trick. 4-0 before the first half was up. And that was the final score, man. Lewandowski taking his tally up to 35 from just 25 matches played in Germany. Filthy, disgusting scoring record for him. He scored more than he did last season when he scored a career high in the Bundesliga. Eintracht Frankfurt had a lovely return to form this weekend, courtesy of an incredibly entertaining first half performance versus Union Berlin, an Union Berlin side that had previously been so solid, but simply could not find themselves against Eintracht. Well, that's not true. They were actually the better side for long stretches in this game, but that first half collapse defensively just killed them. 4 goals conceded in 41 minutes, 2 goals and an assist from Silva. Union scored twice as well, as Max Kruse got a brace. He looked great out there once again for Union. But for Eintracht Frankfurt, Timothy Chandler got a late goal and made it 5-2. Their first win in 3 matches, as they put some space between themselves and Borussia Dortmund. And for their part, Borussia Dortmund went away to FC Köln, a side that hadn't won a match since the beginning of February 6th. And Köln fought valiantly after Haaland put Dortmund ahead after just 3 minutes. A long ball forward from Chan that he took down well, stepped past the defender and converted. I mean, Köln fought right back in the first half to bring the score level. A handball from Jude Bellingham, in which he was punished twofold for, a yellow and a penalty, that Andre Duda converted. And then a ball through to Ismail Jakobs was poorly dealt with by Thomas Meunier, and he was punished for it, 2-1 Köln. But at the death, the 90th minute, Dortmund's Nauf, another youngster that looks good at Dortmund, yet another, played a perfectly placed ball across the box for Haaland to equalize. Haaland was pissed at the end of this one. Hard not to be with how Dortmund have been playing lately, now struggling against relegation candidates. I mean, that's no bueno. 2-2. Speaking of which, another relegation candidate in Hertha Berlin got a massive 3-0 win against Peter Bosch's Bayer Leverkusen. Ouch. Ouch, ouch. Another massive L for Bosch and his side, as they have just 2 wins in their last 12 matches. A terrible run of results from them that has seen them get eliminated from the DFB Pokal, the Europa League, and fall in the standings. 6th in the standings now, 7 points off of the Champions League places after occupying one for so long. Speaking of free falling, well, Borussia Mönchengladbach will have been looking forward to this weekend with glee as they got to take their turn picking up an automatic win against FC Schalke, something Marco Rosa's side still will have needed as their offense just hasn't been ticking in the slightest. Goals from Stindl, Leiner, and own goal from Rono gave them the 3-0 win. They really needed that. VfL Wolfsburg, they've stitched 2 wins together after that shock loss to Hoffenheim that ended their lengthy unbeaten run. This weekend, they overcame Werder Bremen 2-1 away. Wout Weghorst getting in on the goals once again, man. It's insane, his record lately. This man has been involved in 5 goals in 3 matches, 17 scored on the season now. And would you look at that, FSV Mainz got their 2nd win on the trot as things are looking up for them when it comes to a late surge to hopefully avoid relegation. They beat Hoffenheim 2-1 this weekend. And so at the top of the table, with Leipzig winning 1-0 over Arminia Bielefeld, they ensure that Bayern's lead is still just 4 points. Here's hoping they continue to mount a challenge for them. Wolfsburg sit on 51 points, Frankfurt on 47, and Dortmund 43. France. Well, Lille dropped the ball this weekend as they lost at home against the relegation-fighting Olympique Nimes. 2-1 up on the stroke of halftime, and they were able to fight tooth and nail in the second half to hang on for a massive win for themselves and their Ligue safety. What could be a big dent in Lille, Les Dogs' title hopes? The Nico Kovac ascent continues with Monaco as they went away to Saint-Etienne and blanked them 4-0. A great match for the Principality club as Stefan Jovetic hit the woodwork with his penalty in the 12th minute, but moments later, Chouameni, the hero of this match for Monaco, set up for 1-0 Monaco. Golovin set up Chouameni 10 minutes after the break. Diop and Diatta with the 3rd and 4th for Monaco, commanding victory from the 2017 champions AS Monaco. Nice took on Marseille, and they brought no joy for Jorge Sampaoli as his team was humbled by Adrien Urcea's Nice, humbled by them as Amine Gouiri dominated the match in the offense with a goal and an assist for Nice, while Jean-Claire Todibo and Daniliuc held it down defensively, affording just 2 shots from inside the box for their opponents, none of them really troubling Benitez in goal. 3-0 the final for Nice, thoroughly deserved victory. FC Nantes versus Lorient finished 1-1, not the most interesting scoreline or matchup really, but the 87th minute equalizer from Lorient's Armand Lorienté was, oh man, insane free kick from 30 yards out? Further maybe? I don't know, but it was an incredible goal. PSG eased past Lyon for the most part as they played away to Rudy Garcia's side with Mbappe scoring twice, his 99th and 100th goals, before an hour was gone. Those goals sandwiched notches from both Danilo and Di Maria as the Parisians took a 4-0 lead after 52 minutes. Slimani pulled one back, of course, and Neymar made his return as a substitute. And that means that PSG take first, though they are level on points with Lille with 8 matches to go. Lyon are still in the mix, just 3 points behind them. Monaco on 59 points as well. 4 points separate first from 4th. Amazing. Just a few matches in the Premier League this weekend as we saw Brighton take on Newcastle. And hey, one of those matches where Brighton got what they deserved, finally. The team that simply cannot finish and is constantly underperforming when it comes to XG actually overperformed this time, beating Newcastle 3-0. Trossard, Welbeck, and Maupay with the goals for Brighton as Newcastle barely put a glove on them. Terrible stuff from Newcastle these days, but apparently Bruce has the backing. On Friday, Leeds went away to Fulham, and despite Scott Parker's side continuing to play well in this match, as they have done of late, they were unlucky to lose 2-1 to Bielsa's boys. Bamford and the fantastic Rafinha getting the goals for Leeds, while Lookman set up Anderson for Fulham's solitary goal. A loss, though. Unfortunate. Of course, we had West Ham hosting Arsenal on Sunday. What a match this was for neutrals. Arsenal were a collection of narcolepsy patients in the first half, absolutely asleep on the pitch, and they're 3-0 down. 3-0 down away to West Ham after just 32 minutes. Jesse Lingard with the opener, which was a thunderbolt of a volley from the edge of the box that Leno had no chance of saving. Then Lingard set up Bowen from a quick free kick 2 minutes later. Weak keeping from Leno there, and sleeping again from Arsenal players, and Thomas Soucek got a deft little touch on a Mikel Antonio header to make it 3-0. Later he scored an own goal, and Dawson also scored another own goal as he's racking them up 2 in 2 matches, which gave Arsenal a lifeline, and they took it. Arsenal got better towards the end of the first half, and that continued throughout the match basically. And in the 82nd minute, Pepe setting up a Lacazette for the equalizer. A much better second half for Arsenal, but you have to ask questions of them. and how they ever got themselves into that position in the first place. Still, they did well to show fight and at least secure a point, so kudos also has to go out to Martin Odegaard, who I thought was great in this match. Top performance. Tottenham took on Aston Villa, who, ever since that massive COVID outbreak, they have had a difficult time sort of finding themselves once again. You know, they started the season so well and have looked so poor lately. Maybe that's harsh. Maybe it's more that the victories have just been harder to come by for them. Maybe they were, overperforming a bit at the beginning of the season. Spurs were dominant in this one, and a nice passing move in the final third saw Carlos Vinicius score a much-deserved first Premier League goal. The Benficaloni has scored plenty in the Europa League and the FA Cup, but whether through lack of opportunities or lack of luck, this was his first EPL goal. Huge relief for him, I'm sure. In the second half, Harry Kane won a penalty and dispatched of it expertly to take his goal involvements up to 30 for the season. That's 17 goals and 13 assists for him. And that's how this one ended. 2-0 Tottenham as they move up into 6th place in the table after 29 matches played. City still have that 14-point lead. Arsenal move a point above Aston Villa thanks to their point from the draw with West Ham. The FA Cup quarterfinal matches took place this weekend with Southampton taking on Bournemouth, a match in which Hasenhüttl's side eased past the Cherries, who, by the way, are currently 7th in the championship. Nathan Redmond with 2 goals and an assist in this match, Gineppo with the other for the Saints as they sail on into the semi-finals. Manchester City took on Everton at Goodison Park, and just like the last time they met in the Premier League, City win with what was a comfortable scoreline of 2-0, but they really had to work for it this time against Ancelotti's Toffees. It wasn't until the 84th minute until who else but Ilkay Gundogan scored the opener for City, and with Everton pushing men forward for the equalizer, City stole another one as Rodri, who had just entered the pitch, played a perfect ball for De Bruyne to run onto, and he smacked it past Virginia. 2-0 City. Chelsea labored against Sheffield United, and they still ended up winning 2-0, thanks to an own goal from Oliver Norwood and a late strike from Hakim Ziyech. But man, Sheffield United could have converted in this game if they had any other striker than the infuriatingly below average finisher, I'm saying, that is David McGoldrick. My goodness. With Kepa at his mercy, he heads wide from 4-5 yards out. That's horrible to watch. So, Chelsea's defensive record remains in place as they are undefeated in 14 matches under Tuchel, 15 in total. If you defend that well, you just need to score once, and this was one of those matches where they also needed a bit of luck, of course, but you need that in order to be successful. And finally, it looks as if United's trophy chances lay in the Europa League now, as they failed in the quarterfinals against a very impressive Leicester City side. Rodgers had his tactics nailed down perfectly in this one as Iheanacho and Vardy continued to strike up a great partnership for Leicester. The Nigerian scored the opener in the 24th thanks to a Fred blunder. Don't know what he was thinking there. Only for Mason Greenwood to equalize in the 38th minute, a great ball into the box, great dummy from Van de Beek to leave it for Greenwood, and a clean finish from the young Englishman. But on the other side of halftime, the cracks really started to show in the United defense and midfield as Tielemans drove through the heart of United and slapped a low, swerving strike past Henderson in goal. 2-1 there, and later, Iheanacho scored his second as he was left unmarked at the back post and had an easy header past Henderson. 3-1 Leicester, Iheanacho with 7 goals in his last 4 appearances now, showing some of that form that he had back when he first started to break through at City, isn't he? The semi-final draw was set as well, so Manchester City will face Chelsea at Wembley, while Leicester and Southampton at Wembley is the other side of the bracket. And this is the other side of the video, the tail end of it. I thank you as always for watching as we head into this international break, but like I said, the content won't stop here at Rabona TV. My name's Paco, I love ya, and take care. Peace.